We get your Maestro band. You got your ability to flex on to someone like Echo, for example. But maps, we have them. Let's find out where we're going to play. Starting with, of course, those 2 auto disqualified maps. We got Coastline and Consulate out of there. They were played yesterday.
Yeah, so let's see what the others will be. Villa instantly banned by Obey, a team that, especially Skies, kind of always disliked these DLC maps, I guess. It's been a thing for a long time. Border's going to get banned out by Cloud9, Clubhouse by Obey, and then Oregon. So we get to go to Bank. And, that's it. Very good. For me, I look at this. Obey has an advantage on this map, looking at how their play style is.
I want to say they do. I want to like outright agree with you, but we don't know enough going into this match. You know, neither teams have played Bank so far in the season, apparently, and I got to be honest. They're so close to each other. And in terms of how they are as teams, their play styles, their skill levels, you know, the 2 very talented squads. Who do you think is going to win? You go ahead and tell us, and go ahead and vote on the Twitter. Wow,
that's the first time we get a 46-46 with a draw.
That's actually crazy. I don't think we've ever seen something like that before.
You've done it, Reddit.
We were really close to a 45-45 with a 10. But it didn't actually happen.
Yeah, and of course, these percentages are always presented on Twitter. So if you want to vote for your next matchup, then all you got to do is go at ESL Rainbow Six and check out, because the next matchup, Rogue versus Noble, that's got to be a tight one. I want to see where the community really leans on that match.
Here we have the decider for that 7th place and 8th place, the bottom of the poll, and then for the next match that we have, it's going to be for the 3rd place. So it's a pretty big match. All that said, we're going to jump right in. Let's go ahead and get into Bank. And that's, again, Obey versus C9. C9 on defense, Obey on attack.
Yeah, we'll see how the operator bands start off. I'm interested to see if Obey actually have done their homework to see operators that C9 are fairly proficient on. You see we have a new loading screen, of course, for it. It doesn't represent what the operators are picked in the back, but there you go.
I like it, though.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty sweet, isn't it? Lion's going to be banned, first of all, by Cloud9. They don't really want to play against that. Makes sense. It's all right. It's a comfort ban. We'll head to the attacker ban here for Obey, and that's Claz out of play. So far, so standard. This means that Blackbeard's going to be available, Ying's going to be available, and no hard destruction ban.
You want to guess an Echo and a Mira maybe for a defensive ban?
Maestro Mira or Echo Mira.
Yeah. Oh, I could also imagine a Mute on Bank would make a lot of sense. Or a Valkyrie. Both operators that you don't want to deal with on this map. That
was Obey's ban, so I guess they're going to try to play a lot looser on the attack, not really get spotted as easily by the defenders. Maestro's going to get banned, and that's Cloud9's ban. That's actually surprising, kind of, looking at how we were mentioning Fox and how great he is on the Maestro, but I guess that's a ban. They don't really want to play against him.
Well, to be fair, he's a really versatile operator, and there are a lot of good players on him.
Echo and Mira are going to be allowed, so we get to see those ups. Goddess is a pretty interesting play style on the Echo, so I'd like to see more of that in this matchup. Though one thing I wonder is, does Obey have more of a dedicated Mira player in your mind?
Not necessarily. I mean, again, I've talked about this before, but a lot of the league, you know, whether it's Europe, North America, or Latin America, have been leaning towards more flexibility in their players and their ability to play an operator. So while there's always going to be somebody who really excels in an Echo or something like that, or Mira, sure, there's always rotation. And you know, here, C9 is going to put Goddess on that Mira, and as you talked about, Goddess has played Echo a lot in the past. In fact, yesterday she played Echo primarily. So yeah, flexibility is the name of the game in Pro League these days, and I think that's a trait that most players have.
Yeah, and one thing we talked about with Canadian actually last week about that flexibility is like, yeah, well, how come we see you guys changing your operators this much? He's like, we don't want people to know exactly what we play. We don't want to put ourselves in that mindset of, oh, we only play that operator and that's it. And that way you get figured out and learned very easily by your opponents.
Yeah, and it's a big trap to fall into. So, basement defense first round. a little bit standard as compared to what we usually see on Bank. And I know it's kind of like a contradictory statement, but the truth is, on Bank, most teams are going to want to bring you to Archives first. They're going to go CEO. You know, they want to mix things up because the basement has been so figured out. We were just talking about figured out with the operators, and it's the same thing for maps, really. Now, Obey, because they know how to attack this site, are going to be able to do it very efficiently, especially considering they have a Jackal. And now, because Jackal has an 8-meter scan radius, or distance, rather, instead of 5, he can do that from the top floor into the middle floor.
I absolutely love this change. It makes him a lot more viable, especially on a map like Bank. He was already strong, but here, it basically gives you the opportunity to play from that top floor.
You know what else about Jackal? He's one of the few operators that has soft destruction and smokes at the same time, technically.
Yeah,
I mean,
because he's got the ITA.
Right, yeah. There are some ops that have those explosives and the smokes, but it's a little bit or no, there isn't. There aren't actually. Interesting. But yeah, he's a versatile operator, not just for clearing roamers, but also in terms of utility.
He's just pretty good, and I explained this earlier on in the season that for me, I think is a very underrated operator, and you know, now with this change, people definitely have to reconsider his usage. But for now, with 1:28 on the clock, Obey are still scouting around the map. They haven't really found their footing yet, but they at least have opened up the hatches, and they're going to try to play through those. But Mark is not going to make this easy at all as he peeks in, tries to go for the kill, but the Gzmot mine here from my man will slow him down for just a second. He peeks into him, and Obey will land the first kill on Mark. This is a bit of an odd kill early on.
Yeah, Mark really shouldn't have been holding that angle, gotta be honest. That's not a great position to hold on to the server, and now he's gonna leave his teammate of Foxe alone behind the server stack. My man gonna use his dual grenade launcher to disorient that player, and it'll be an easy kill there for Benji. Goddess does get Skies though, so a little bit of a refrag, and that's actually TwitchCon too, which is fantastic for the Mira. Skies even respecting the shot. It must have been a nice one.
Yeah, there's still C4 in play for the Mira. Bosco dropping in here, and he'll face the mute as the drone will go down. Adam opening up the sidewall here to try and get an easier angle on the plant. So far, so default. And of course, there's a man advantage here for Obey. Now, even though Benji and my man are low on health, or at least a 50% health, they're going to have to be careful here with little time left on the clock. C4 can definitely shut this down here. Goddess, there we go. The C4 onto Benji and Adam. My man will go down, and it's all up to Bosco on the Habana. Goddess will finalize the kill here on my man. 2 seconds left on the clock, and they're just hiding behind their walls here in a very easy round for C9 in that defense. I think Obey really mismanaged their time in this.
Yeah, and that was a 4K for Goddess as well. 2 on the C4, 1 down in the hallway, finished off with the shotgun and the initial kill in the skies. Impressive round for her to play that power position well.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Mira is a great operator to play with, and I think because of the fact that Obey were playing for so little time at the end, even though there was nothing really contesting them on the top floors the entire round, they had to go for the plant, and the C4 more than enough to dispatch the players that are running into the site. You know, with just so few seconds left on the clock, you're not going to hesitate a single moment to chuck out that nitro cell and just see what you get.
Yeah, Obey was kind of slow on their attack. I mean, considering Cloud9 weren't roaming very much, if at all. In fact, I don't believe they were.
No,
I mean, they were pretty much focused on that site. They wanted to anchor, and that worked out great for them. But Obey did spend a solid minute 45 trying to clear the roamers, and then once they actually got to the server, they had to clear through the server stairs. They had to get through the server stacks, and they did that. But after that, you have to open the wall, and it was too late to start that process, right? The default take, and it was very default, like you talked about. It just didn't have enough time.
And we'll see how C9 set up here as.
Interesting.
Whoa, are they?
I've never
seen this.
I mean, I'm sure it's been done, but it's never.
Usually you reinforce. Okay, so just to bring it back for people that are like, oh, what are they talking about? This wall is usually reinforced into tellers and the office in the back.
Yeah, and one thing that's actually really interesting, they have a castle barricade on the top floor, and up here, that's going to allow anybody inside of that lounge area to play safely and not exposed to the garage, which means they can open up a lot of the floor and play vertically to deny tellers. That's really clever.
This is very, very clever. It's not something it's not every day that you get to see these like brand new things that are being played out. I'm sure maybe this has been played some point, but
yeah,
it's definitely the first time it springs back into action here. We'll see how it works out.
I'm a little bit worried about it, though. I have to be honest. They're relying heavily on those castle barricades. Castle barricades are great pieces of utility, but they are not something that you can guarantee they will cover your back. It's not how they work. They can be destroyed. Skies is going to get the first kill here onto Laxing, his former teammate, and in fact, very close teammates they used to be when they played together.
Yeah, all the way back in the day, I guess. But
it's weird to say Skies killed Laxing. It's just an odd thing.
I'm sure there was a team kill that happened here or there, but still.
Probably, yeah.
But that is a great kill early on, because now that's the Legion eliminated. No more goo mines early on in the round means you've pretty much only dispatched 3 goo mines around the map, and that's pretty much it. And the fact that you now cannot easily defend the top floor with so much reinforcement and setup being put here is going to make it very complicated.
See, this is the thing that worries me. Benji's now got an angle onto the back of that mirror window, and the castle barricade will be opened up as well as Skies gets his second kill in the round. Mirror window up in storage has been opened, and any players attempting to use that will be forced back. And that's Fox A, who has actually gone all the way down to the basement stairs.
Yeah, he's gonna have to fall back up at least. Oh, he's actually contest, not get on the site. So maybe he can get a pick or two, because remember, there might not be a buck, but there's still Benji with that ITA. But because he gets spotted on the drone, Fox will fall back with his extended barrel and red dot UMP. You know, a nice piece of machination, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. An interesting setup. And the second mirror window has been opened, which means the hold on the A bomb site for C9 right now is not looking great. They have lost many of their fail-safes, and it's going to be a very easy take into the side wall of tellers for Obey, unless C9 has something up their sleeves to stop it.
Yeah, you see the Mira here of Goddess moving around the tellers. There's even an extendable shield for to play around, and there's really nobody on the site close here for C9. Oh, look at this positioning here. Goddess will get one, cannot get the second though. Unfortunately, the C4 is out of play now, and all up to Retro as Bosco finds him on the window, takes him out. Now, we'll go back to this. The fact that C9 puts so much effort on that top floor is already questionable, because, as you explained, it's very difficult to hold on to the top floor.
Yeah, here's the thing for me about that strategy. I really like that they got creative. I have to applaud C9 for pulling out all the stops here in this match, because, and as we've talked about, this match is going to be deciding who stays or goes to that last position in the league, and you do not want to be there at the halfway point.
Yeah, it's again halfway point.
Right. So you know, there's still time to claw out your way out of it, but it's still, you don't want to start your second half there. Anyway, my point being here, it's hard to hold that top floor, yes, but I think the main problem for me with that strategy from Cloud9 was their reliance on the castle barricades. Castle barricades can be destroyed by many things, and they are very useful, but you cannot make them a pivotal part of your strategy when they're so exposed like that. There are some places, like for example, I totally get the lounge castle barricade on the top floor that was facing towards the windows that, you know, so you can't get shot from the garage. The only thing that can counter that at that distance really is going to be a glass. You know, sometimes you can hit an ash charge from that distance. It's just, you got to thread the needle. My point being here is the one over in storage, that castle barricade covering a Mira window, that is 2 huge pieces of utility you're stacking onto one little piece of paper that's denying a potential kill from behind.
Yeah, and I think they're going to try to do the same thing here as they've shot the wall again.
Yeah, so same setup from Cloud9. And the take that we saw from Obey, and this is another thing I neglected to talk about, Obey's take was perfect to counter this hold, but it looks like they're actually
this is the change,
switching it up. Yeah.
This I like a lot more, because now you have the mirror window facing into Janitor. It makes it a lot more complicated. I hope they don't open the hatch, because that kind of like, that's counterproductive, I guess. But
I mean, it's not necessary. They're gonna do it. It's not necessarily counterproductive. In a way, it is. I mean, if you want to fall back to the site, it's an easy rotation back. It really depends on how C9 is feeling playing this, I guess. But I agree with you. I like this change. It's way better, because it means you're not relying on a castle barricade to hold the flank of a mirror window. Also, they know where Obey's taking from now. So that might have been it for C9. Their defense on that top floor was just a directionalized one. They gambled and guessed wrong on the first round, but now they know where Obey is coming from and they can redirect themselves.
Now we'll see how they play this one out. Did they leave a soft wall here on the side? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. So one of the walls is completely soft, and Skies is bringing that Ying to play with T95.
An operator we usually see banned, but not so here. Now, I've heard from many people, I mean, when you have a perfect setup for your attack, and you've got everything right, and you're ready to attack the site, and there's just some anchors, Ying is basically an unstoppable force in that situation. That's the situation that Obey is going to try and get themselves into.
Oh, that's the spot, but Foxay will get the kill on my man. Will make it a lot more complicated, though. You can throw in the cluster charges with the flashes, but they won't really do much since the mirror window is set up in the way that it is. Maybe you'll have one part of the flash that goes into the room, but that's not a reliable thing in this defense setup.
Oh, absolutely, and oh no, that's a lot of utility that's just been wasted from Benji. One smoke on, the second one detonated. So that's a little bit of time he's going to have where the mirror window cannot see the push from Bosco. Good coordination from Obey, allowing Bosco into this CEO office. He's getting a nice headshot onto Mark. Going for a follow-up, but Foxay has already fallen down. So Obey has top floor. It's taken them 1 life and 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lot of time that just got burned, and they lost to Zofia here, but Benji is very happy because now he can go ham with his ITA and start opening up the floorboard and deny the second mirror window if you can actually get the head on it.
Yeah, so this is something we've talked about before a lot, actually. The soft destruction from this ITA. Ooh, Retro gets Bosco. So that is not great for Obey. Didn't see exactly where it was. Goddess is going to get Skies. Skies is just kind of lingering in the doorway, looking for a fight. And now the focus from Obey has shifted to a open area into small office take with only 22 seconds to go. Now, Benji is going to lose the fight to Foxay. I thought he had that one, but no, sir. Adam now the final attacker against 4 with 11 seconds. And he's going to have to push into Retro Shotgun while he has to worry about Foxay from above. Pistol comes out, and it's not enough to get any more than 1 kill. C9 will take another round 2-1 in their favor.
You know what? Actually opening the hatch there got into the mind of Obey. They're like, oh, hatch is open. Let's just try to drop from there. Unfortunately, it was a one-man show.
Yeah, see, that's the interesting thing. They opened the hatch, and then they didn't open rotation into the site. So Cloud9, they...
Mind games!
They were yeah, I guess, thinking a little bit ahead there.
Because that's the thing. If you're expecting to rotate away from Janitor, then the mirror window facing into Janitor doesn't make a ton of sense if you're going to leave an unreinforced sidewall in CEO. Because then you open yourself up to shots from there, and there's no reinforced walls that'll help you to get some protection as you're dropping in. Because of that, Obey are like, okay, they have a rotation, the hatch is open, we don't have time to drone. Let's drop in. Well, that's the problem. they were not even preparing to rotate from that. This is like a completely different C9 to what we saw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I really like their setup, and as soon as they directed their defense towards Obey, and they were actually guessing correctly, they managed to take that round on Tellers, which is, because they lost one as well, they're going to be able to go back to the basement, which is their preferred site, and one they seemed absolutely dominant on. Though, in this site, we did see that 4K from Goddess, and it did actually come down to a 2v1, so there was a little bit of a closer round than you would anticipate for the bottom floor.
We'll see how Obey change things up here. Skies has picked up the Dokkaebi. Of course, Dokkaebi still has those smoke grenades, but now has forfeited the Claymore for flashbangs, which definitely play a lot more into her roamer hunting kit. But I assume C9 are going to play the same way as they did before, and they're just going to get super defensive on the site. And it worked very well for them. Obviously put Goddess to some pretty darn good work with her Vector. But I really like the way that they're setting up the mirror window in the back, because this is something that people that haven't tried it don't really know the real effect of it. No, C4s, the nitro cells, you can throw them a lot more of a distance than you might think. You just need to get that correct angle. You can't throw them too high, you can't throw them too low, or they just don't hit their targets. but they can go a fair amount of distance.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you factor in the momentum-based projectile physics that have been introduced. What was that, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that?
Yeah, before 6th Invitation, I believe.
It was something like that. It was a good distance back, but yeah, they can make some headway. Now, Obey have been a lot more efficient in this round than the first round where they were clearing the base or clearing the roamers. I think they've realized that C9 is not keen on roaming too heavily when defending the basement, and they're acting based upon that, which makes a lot more sense. Benji, of course, going to be able to confirm this as he's playing Jackal, and we will get the drop downs opened up. Interestingly, Adam going to use one of his thermite charges. That's probably so he can the Hibana can open up more of the drop downs, and he actually used 2 of the thermite charges, and we've got a reset onto Benji. Not sure what happened there, but yeah, so the reason I guess they're using 2 thermite charges is so the Hibana can open up the other drop downs. But it's also a little confusing because there's only 2 other drop downs that are relevant.
Are they going to go for a vault drop?
It looks like they're going for a vault drop, yeah.
That's the only reason why you wouldn't use the thermite onto the main wall. They realize pushing into Goddess is very complicated, and they use the lifeline here to open things up, make it a bit easier for Bosco to drop into the elevators. This is not something that you see very often. Laxing is completely flashed, but Bosco's flashed himself, and my man as well. They have to stand into the site, but the calls from the Dokkaebi is Skies placed perfectly into the hands of Obey. That Fox will get the second one. Retro finding the angle on a Benji. But now it's Retro down on the floor. Skies will try to run into the site as Bosco's holding down the top here. No, Marcus from above. He actually rotates up the stairs, drop into them. Mark will get the second one to turn it into a 1v2, and it's now all up to Skies. Tack down to 60 health. 25 seconds left on the clock. It's Fox on the Legion. And all that C9 have to do now is just sit back, relax, and wait for Skies to push in, because he does not have any more logic bombs to play with. He'll contest against the Jaeger, but Foxy from the side wins it out. C9, beautiful reaction. I have to commend Obey though. This is a good reaction after seeing the setup from C9, but
I mean, that execution from Obey was great, and it was really cool to watch. I love their smoke placement. I especially love their flash placement. Hitting flashes is really hard in this game, and major props to Obey for, you know, predetermining the angles of everything and making sure it's all right. But they left some pretty massive basics off the board on that strategy. As much as it was a great and interesting strategy from Obey, a nice execution, it wasn't well thought out. You know, something as basic as a flank watch, someone to stay on the drop and wait for that, you know, predictable push from Teller's Archives. And that's the thing too. When you're going to get flanked on that take, it's going to come from Teller's Archives. Think about the line.
No other
You're
way.
coming from the top of server stairs. Are you going to hook it through kitchen and open area, go into garage hallway, or sorry, elevator hallway, and then go into Teller's? No. You're going to go straight through Archives Teller's and get onto the drop down. That's exactly what the Jaeger did. It's exactly what allowed him to clutch out the round. And good timing to Mark, but more importantly, Obey, you need to account for all of those possibilities, and I don't think that that's a really, you know, crazy out-of-the-box idea that you're going to get flanked from server.
Yeah, I think that's something you should have in your mind at all times, which is why it's odd. Now, some people might be saying, "Oh, are they being so harsh?" We're being so harsh about it because we know that it's a simple mistake that they should not be making with how good they are.
And see, that's the thing is, I'll go back to what you said earlier too. I have to give major props to Obey for having their execution be so fine. I mean, a lot of the placement of projectiles, especially the smokes, the stuns, and everything, it was really great to watch. It makes me geek out a little bit, but when you forget to hold the flank, you kind of lose a lot of that same traction.
Yeah, well, here Goddess will be on the Mira yet again as Skies will be bringing the Dokkaebi. Now, Dokkaebi has had obviously the change with the grenades, but also had a bit of a change with the recall in the M7G12. So you're not going to be, you know, spraying people at distances anymore. You kind of have to control things. And again, soft walls from C9.
Yeah, I mean, the soft walls, I think, from C9 are actually a little bit of a bait. It looks like it's planned The one thing I am worried about, yet again, they placed a mirror window inside of that storage room that's exposed as soon as the castle barricade gets opened up. Mark's going to get a TK on a Goddess. Clearly, you know, they're having some sort of dispute, you know,
obviously.
Maybe a little bit of an argument.
Trouble in heaven.
Or more likely, they just accidentally lined up improperly. But, you know, he was trying to shoot the Habanas.
Oh, my.
Oh,
and then as it got destroyed.
Oh, timing is everything.
Jeez.
Well, it happens. It does.
It happens. See, if it happens in your games, it's fine. It happens with the pros, and they are human too.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, again, what I was touching on there, the thing that worries me about this setup from C9 is they're betting a lot on their hold and that castle barricade and storage. And the thing that emphasizes that is that Obey is taking from the direction that would counter this hold from C9, and that, you know, it's layers upon layers against Cloud9.
Now Laxing holding a long angle here off the red dot for once, as the calls will come in from Skies. Will alert the attackers possibly what's happening here. Impact grenade will get set up to chuck up, as of course you can use that to destroy a thermite charge. Then set up by Adam. Retro will still find a shot on Adam. Oh, that is a huge kill on the thermite. My man gets one on Mark. At least keep things in the hands of Obey. Fox missing the shot. C4 is going to get thrown up. Detonates, does not hit. Unfortunately, he was falling back.
Yeah.
And the Nitro Cell basically falls back with him as momentum goes.
Yeah, it's the momentum physics there. Blasco will get Retro, so the smoke shut out finally after having an all-right round, getting the only kill for his team. Foxay all the way downstairs, and so is Laxing, which means that top floor is all in control of the attack. Obey will get a plant. Laxing a nice long angle kill onto Benji. Very important one that opens up this flank for the castle, gives him a little bit of working room. Foxay is not heard right now. He actually has the flanks of two players. If he reads this properly, he could get some pretty easy kills. He's going to get one on Disguise. His position now given away. They will adjust, but he still has the flanks, and he will miss the shots, unfortunately, and have to reevaluate as he pushes his way into the front desk. He's just going to continue looking for a fight, but it's no longer there. Oh, just a little bit more commitment from Fox is all it takes for these kills to happen, but there's no time left for the defenders. Even if they get the kills, they cannot disable the diffuser, and they will finally secure those frags, padding their stats just a little bit. But Obey will take the round thanks to a nice site take.
It was a valiant effort from C9 on the retake, but
yeah,
Obey really read it well. Even after having left, even after having lost their thermite, it still went their way. Now, the big question is, but what if the Mira was still alive? That's the question.
It is definitely a big question. If Mark hadn't got that TK, maybe we would have seen Goddess able to play a little bit more from the meeting room. But either way, I don't know. The hold from C9 was just not set up to deny the push that Obey gave them. I mean, I think that they intended it to be that way, but again, they're relying too much on certain pieces of utility that are not going to, you know, stem the tide of an entire team. That's not how that works. The Castle Barricade can just give you a little bit of denial and more maneuverability, and that's usually how they're utilized.
Oh boy.
Oh wow, the blitz being 6-picked. That's scary. You don't want to deal with that. So we are moving on to the second half here. Cloud9 won the first, managing to go 3-2 in their favor, but now they are switching over to attack.
Yeah, there's the Echo being played though from Obey, so Adam will have a clear counter against that blitz.
Good.
Which is obviously a really good start. You look at the operator lineup, especially with Skies playing the Pulse. You're defending downstairs in CCTV. This is pretty darn good to have a Pulse, to have an Echo that can play from the back if need be. Skies can obviously track his opponents as they set up for the take on that A site. Chuck a C4 before Benji does, so you can time things perfectly. And I think what Obey are bringing here is something that they brought yesterday and they brought in the past. Reliance on C4s as much as possible. I think they have 3 here in between them. I wonder if my man has brought that on the Bandit. Yes, he has. So 3 Nitro Cells to be played.
Makes a lot of sense on this site. You know, usually you see the Bandit bring the barbed wire, but we're talking about a basement hold, and the primary form of denial is C4. As much as the gas canisters are useful, the Echo Drone's going to be useful, the C4 is, I think, the most important thing. Every single one of the operators on defense, though, has a piece of utility to counter a default plant, or any plant for that matter, as long as it's called out.
The thing is, though, if you're playing Blitz, you have to, as the name applies, blitz your opponents. You have to push into them. You can use these hatches here, especially I think the one in red that looks into red hallway, to push in, try to take down the Mira, fight against her, but you don't have that same flash range as before on the Blitz.
Yeah, it has been reduced a little bit. I still think it's very useful, and his main form of usefulness is not necessarily his flash shield as much as it is just his ability to get into your face and
not take away the shield.
Yeah, it's the sprinting thing. But yeah, I mean, the main reason people don't use the drops is, of course, you're exposed while you falling. But as you may notice, there's a Zofia on the attacking team. Use one of those dual grenade launcher concussions to disorient the people who are holding the drop down, and Blitz can pretty easily make it into Red Hall in that way.
Yeah, and it seems like this might just be something they're setting up for. There's a lot of time here on the clock for C9, so
yeah,
they read things out. They realized Obey are going to play the same way that C9 did, and they're just not going to be moving around and trying to take down C9 on the setup. Oh, a great shot here to take down one of the yokais.
Yeah, so each yokai drone, if you're not familiar, is so very useful in this game, especially in this position where it looks like C9 is going for a default plant. Those yokai drones are the best way to deny the plant alongside C4s and gas canisters. So here come the concussions through the drop down, but Laxing not going to want to use that drop down. He's just pressuring in the stairs. Well, there's not a lot of time here for C9. They need to get a little bit more assertive, and here comes the actual push.
All right, you'll see Laxing for the drop. They'll try to run into the hallway, though they have no idea where he is, as Fox is holding from the garage at a long angle here, rotated back from it, and the diffuser's going to get planted. Where's the C4? There's nothing. Everything is smoked, and Fox will smoke out two players from Obey. Laxing flashes into the mirror of Benji, as Benji cannot do much against him. He'll just hold the back here as he keeps spotting the mirror. They're trying to bait him out of position to chuck a C4 into him. But with 5 players up for C9 and Fox holding the rotations, this is a tough fight to go for. More into... Oh my god! Obey dismantled at the end with the flash shield. This was an excellent push from C9.
I really like that push for a number of reasons. First of all, the smoke cover was perfectly placed. So they gave a full line through the site, allowing for the diffuse planter to actually get into the site and plant where he wanted to. Another thing, there were so many C4s on the defense, and usually that would be able to deny a plant through the smoke. However, the diffuser planted on top of the desk means that it wasn't exposed in the slightest. And the most important thing for me there was Laxing using that blitz shield to cut off rotation from the doorway to the hallway. That's great positioning from C9.
Yeah, I have to say there was... Yeah, sure, you're going to bring 3 C4s, but the push isn't going to come from that spot. It's not going to come in from a default plant. It's going to come in from the side, and your pulse is just so preoccupied with looking at that one area, you tunnel vision as the pulse, that it really hinders you in your retake and actually reading what's happening at a global level on that site. But now we'll head up into CEO as Obey will go for more of a default setup, which for me makes a lot more sense than opening up the walls.
Yeah, it does. I think it just means you have to focus more on actually holding the walls. So that's why you see Bosco right now setting up for those impacts or the C4s that will deny any thermites or Habanas on that wall. So it's a little bit safer in a way. And it also means that Skies is going to be able to bandit trick, but it also exposes you to the rappel on the north windows. If any of the attackers choose to go there, then effectively you cannot deny the thermite onto the wall. But it becomes its own process, right? And I guess that process is what they're gambling on. It's what Obey is going for. They want to force Cloud9 into committing to something like that instead of just giving them a free avenue. And it's a trade-off, because the free avenue, in a way, is a funnel and a bait at the same time.
Oh, Retro with the early kill. You were mentioning this rappel, and there you go. Bosco, the first one to go. And that is a huge kill early on the smoke.
Yeah, so of course, Smoke, the best operator on defense right now for aerial denial. And by right now, I mean in this round. Nice angle here from Mark will cut off a lot of rotation in the main hallway. There is a player, my man specifically, inside of elevator, so he's going to be stuck there if Mark chooses to hold the angle, although I doubt he's going to be there for too long.
I mean, there is a lot of time on the clock, just having passed that 2-minute mark, but you can put him in for just a bit as you see.
Oh,
there
like
you go.
this.
It forces him out of position, and there you go. He has to impact away. Because of course my man's Legion, as Mark is waiting for the peak, and there you go, an easy kill. Perfect team coordination from C9. This is a completely different beast than what we've seen. Retro nails the headshot on it. Adam, and that is Benji and Skies. Last two alive for Obey.
So I got to commend Obey for going to a different site, not trying to stick out the basement 2 in a row, as that would have likely hurt them a lot. But now that they're on a different site, they seem to be struggling from the same thing. And here in this round, they're getting picked apart one at a time. Cloud9 have their number. It's just a matter of time until these last two defenders get confronted by laxing on that shield and struggle to win any fights.
We'll see Retro just holding the angle still from the plaza, as Fox will get the second to last. And, well, Skies is in. Nitrocell is going to get thrown out, and he can't really do much against, well, pretty much all of C9, as Cloud9 absolutely figure Obey and demolish them in this round. Just great play from start to finish, I have to say. This is extremely impressive and extremely entertaining to watch for C9.
I want to reiterate that this match, if C9 take it, they will move themselves up in position, and Obey will be put down at that 8th spot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of these stories that are happening today, either at the bottom of the standings or at the tippity top. So today, expect a lot of barns to be burned.
Yeah, it's a really exciting match day. So, match point, speaking of, for Cloud9, and they just need to win one more, and then they get those 3 points, and they move up.
Yeah, now you see a change from C9. No, they're going to bring the same one. That's Blitz, Jackal, Zofia, Thermite, and Habana.
I like how they continue to 6-pick the Blitz on Laxing. That's the 3rd round in a row, all 3 on attack, and I mean, hey, if you're going to get a little bit of time where they were thinking, do they have a Blitz? Maybe they don't. Then you may as well, I guess.
And the thing is, they don't really put the Blitz out there until the push actually comes to shove. So they retain as much of that information as possible until the very, very end. And I wonder what Obey will do to play against it. Now, Benji's going to set up his reinforced walls, and he's going to put a mirror window all the way in the back. This is exactly what I want to see. He doesn't set it up, though. Why? Why? Play it from the back. You don't want to get pushed. I think they're just going to save it just in case.
They did do it last time. I mean, they just didn't work out for them. I think the reason that they struggled on that last defense with the basement was the really precise pick apart from Cloud9. They had utility to deal with all of the eventualities, whether it be the smoke, the stuns, or the the lifeline, or excuse me, the dual grenade launcher concussions.
In my heart, it's still the lifeline.
Right. It's a little bit weird. We're having so many of these, like the Gers mod is just what, a concussion mine now?
I don't know if there's actually change, because like if people don't really know what happens when it comes to like development of the game, there's usually like placeholder names until the writers actually put the final names in. And I don't know if the patch messed up the names of how
or if they're trying to like convert it over. Well, either way.
Because the Buck still has the skeleton key,
right?
For example, so I don't know if it's intentional or not. That aside.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we have Retro, who will be doing the Jackal job of trying to open up the drop down. You need a little bit more proximity there. It's a lot of damage drop off on those pellets, and you need to get close before you can open up the drops. Or I guess you just need to come at it from a particular angle. Either way, getting the drop downs open, and that's 3 right off the bat for Retro, allowing for his team to be a little bit more maneuverable, which is really important.
And Mark will drop in here in the drone, scout things out. Now, the interesting thing that C9 did when they were pushing on this site a couple of rounds ago is that once Fox had done the work on the Havana, he rotated out to play from the garage. And if anything, he needs to be doing that exact same thing this time around. He's got to deal with Adam, though, who is distinctly set up here on the trash bins. We're going to call this the new Adam spot to control the garage push.
He was droned out, and the attackers are going to know when they go for that garage push, if they go for that garage push. But he will actually be rotating off to do something else. It looks like he's still holding onto the garage, though. Cloud9 have most of the drop downs opened up right now, and Adam with the run out onto lone office will be red and likely a free kill in just a second here for Fox.
What are you doing?
That's really bad timing.
Adam!
Yeah, see, that can work when the push is coming, but before the push, you're throwing yourself away. So anyway, laxing on the drops, waiting to go down. Here come the smokes and the gas canisters to counter each other. Mark goes for the angle, cannot find it. Fox will get Bosco, and that's garage control finally established. A little bit late, but established nonetheless. Legion Mine on to Laxing might actually hurt him here. No, it's not going to result in his death, though he has been downed. Retro gets Benji, 2 defenders left. My man will fight back onto Laxing, leaving just him, though, in a 1 versus 4. Diffuser planted, and this is looking very much like GG. It's being called out in the chat from even my man's teammates are calling out the GG as he fights tooth and nail to hold on here. Foxay, though, goes in for the rush, and it's a very easy kill for him. Obey lose out 6-2 in a dominant fashion for Cloud9.
Yeah, I never thought we'd actually say that after the start of the season.
Right?
But yeah, C9 absolutely dismantled Opay in this matchup. From start to finish, they had control, except for the 1 team kill. But other than that, there were some very interesting strategies that they play on every single map. We saw players coming into their own. Fox really putting it up there on the scoreboard. Goddess, that's usually more of a support role, also putting work in. This is C9 when they can play in their real fashion. And this is the thing. There's a reason why you qualified into Pro League. It's because you were better than the others and you deserve the spot. You're in here for a reason. But when you